I keep having to learn over and over again that it's a whole lot easier if you get a number 8 sable brush. Now let's see, what is this? I can't even read it. It's pure sable Duncan number 8. It sure makes it a lot easier than that popsicle stick for spreading glue. So here we have number 2. I'm not going to weigh it until tomorrow. Of course, the epoxy, I mean, that weight is going to be there from now on. But I've got the wood. I cleaned all of the wood, all of the epoxy on the wood off with alcohol, so the alcohol is kind of soaked into it a little bit. It needs to flash off, and I'll weigh it tomorrow. Alright, it's 8 a.m. the next morning, and we're going to take the rib that we built and did not sand, and we're going to weigh it this morning, and we're going to see how it compares to the sanded rib. Okay, that's showing, I can't even see it. Oh man, that's so close to 6. That's really close to 6 ounces. Well, I'd have to interpolate that because the red line is as thick as the spread between the lines. So it's showing about, I would guess they're about 5.75 ounces, maybe more, but that's a rough weight. Let's go over to the gram scale and get a better idea of what it's going to be. That's 150. That's so close. I'm going to call it 153.5 grams. 153.5 grams. Or something thereabout. Well, let's do the arithmetic with the little old computerinsky here. Let's see, what did we say? 153.50 times, where's my zero? 0.035. 5.372 ounces. And 5.372 minus 5.25, that's how much the other one weighed. 0.1225. Hope we can see this. But this, the top figure, is our recently completed rib, 5.372 ounces. Our sanded rib is 5.25 ounces. So once we sand that rib, we can expect to lose 0.122 grams off of the weight. And, you know, over the course of 30 ribs, that could add up a little bit. We're going to do it anyway. You know, some people may say that's going a little too far. Maybe, But, you know, like I told you about the straw that broke the camel's back one day, trying to get over power lines on a 120-degree day, density altitude 4,000, 5,000 feet, you know, that extra 1 or 2 ounces could be what makes the difference. And so another one begins. We'll load up the jig this morning, and then we'll go do our chores, whatever we need to do. Come back tonight. Well, we'll load up the jig, then we'll sand the newly completed rib. Then we'll go do our chores. Then we'll come back tonight and build another rib. Like I said, don't omit this part of the process. It may seem like overkill, but it really is not. A lot of people, and I'm not judging. A lot of people, you know, they take their rib building. They don't take their rib building that serious. And I guess it's because a lot of the old timers never did either. I never could understand that. But anyway, that's them. And we're doing things different, fellers. We're doing it the right way. Okay, let me give you a little tip. You know, remember we talked about things that get lost on the cutting room floor. But to be able to accurately get these little scarves accurately loaded or accurately fitted, what we're going to do is help ourselves a little bit. After we get it cut, then we're going to go in here. We're going to lay a straight edge right along that line. We're going to take our ink and we're going to draw it in. So, you know, and then here's another thing. You can get your accurate dimension that way, or here's another way. Now let me turn this thing around. And I tend to do it like this. Of course, you've got to have your lines, both bottom and top. Anything you can do like this to help you out, to help in accuracy, is really going to help a whole lot. And I'll put that point right on the point, and then I'll come down here and sight right over that line. Make sure and close one eye and sight right down the other. That's the most accurate way to do it. Then take your straight edge, draw it in, take it to the belt sander, and there you have it. And let's don't forget our grain direction. See how nicely that fits up in there? That's what you want, boys. Hope I don't have to cut that one on the cutting, or put that one on the cutting room floor. Another little tip, once you get your lines drawn in ink, now you're going to have something that's more permanent than that, because when you're cleaning your jig and your gussets with alcohol, well, you can see how that ink will spread. So you'll just go in there with your straight edges and your, where did that scribe go? What? Picked up a scribe and wound up with that. I don't know what's going on here. Too early in the morning, maybe. Anyway, get it all set up, and then go in there and scribe your line, and scribe a pretty deep line. And you may be wondering what that is for. Well, that's in case you catch Cowans and ruffians trying to eavesdrop. Some of you fellas will get it, some of you may not. Remember to put your verticals in first. Don't be alarmed if you still have to fine-tune your jig just a little bit. I found this to be off by maybe 30 seconds. So I just fine-tuned it with a little piece right there. So you can expect that for the first couple of ribs. You're going to find little places like that that need just a little bit of touch-up. And of course, it goes without saying, man, you want your jig blocks to hold your pieces in, you know, firmly, but you don't want it to be so tight that it's going to, I mean, you're going to have a jackhammer to get it out. Just snug, but not real tight. Well, that's about all I have to say on jigs and building ribs from cap strip. The only other thing is when we get ready to build our aileron ribs, the standard rib is going to change. A 3/4 inch, or is that a half inch? That's a half inch aileron spar will fit in there, and of course these jig blocks will have to come up. There will be a vertical that will go in there, and then a diagonal from here up to here. I think we've got something like 15 standard wing ribs. Some of them will have compression members glued to them. 2 of them will have a plywood face on the butt ribs. And then we'll have these aileron ribs. And we'll build the ailerons right on the wing. Once it's all done, then we'll cut the ailerons out, and it will ensure a perfect fit, especially if we go in there and put our hinges in from here to here before we go to cutting that out. So maybe we'll come back when we do that and do a video on this. Maybe do a video on the compression members that we'll glue on. But other than that, I think you guys can hit the ground running. I don't see any reason why you can't. Give her a good sanding, boys. You want this to look like it's going to go in the Smithsonian. Have an airplane that you'll be proud of. Yeah, you know, some people say, well, you'll never see the ribs. It's all going to be covered up. But you know what? You're going to know what's underneath that fabric. It's a matter of pride, man. Well, that and doing a workmanlike job like they used to back in the 1900s. 20s, 30s. You look at some of the things that they built back then, absolutely gorgeous in form and in function too. Okay, we're gonna weigh the second one. We just got finished sanding it. Well, these are turning out lighter than I thought they would. Now I've got a J3 rib up here that weighs something like 10.5 ounces. A J2 cub I read somewhere weighs 9 ounces. So if we're coming in just a tad over 5 ounces, we're doing pretty good. Well, this one's going to be lighter than the other one, I think. Let's see, that's 146.5 grams, 146.5. I think this one's going to be a little bit lighter than the first one. Let's see, 146.5 times 0.035, 5.127 ounces. Oh yeah, the other one weighed 5.25 ounces. So this one's a little bit lighter. I've got a good feeling that we're gonna all come in around 5.25. If they'd come in this light all the time, I would be tickled to death. Okay, to get an idea of what the weight difference might be if we use the aliphatic glue instead of the epoxy, I decided to build one rib using aliphatic glue. And let's see if there's any difference in weight, if there's any, difference of significance. We're going to call that 144.1 grams. I'll write that down, 144.1 grams. Times 0.035, 5.04 ounces. So you be the judge. Our first rib weighed 5.25 ounces. The second rib was 5.12 ounces. Both of them built with epoxy. The third rib, this one, turned out to be 5.04 ounces. So there's a little bit of savings there, men.